Hi, it's Brian with AeroTech Caps, showing you a short install video on how to assemble the new Super Skirt that we've developed. I'm not going to get into all the details about the aerodynamic efficiencies. This is simply for instruction on how it's installed. You'll be getting two boxes, a box of left-hand panels for one side of the trailer and right-hand panels for the other. In each box, there is a kit like this. In the box, there are the reflectors for the panels, as well as 24 J-bolts with fender washers and nylon lock nuts. They're all half-inch nuts, and you just need a half-inch driver to assemble the project. Now we're out at a trailer, and here's how you would start the install process. The first thing you have to do is establish where the tandem assembly slide stop is, which is this bar right here. And the way it's configured with the slide here moving to this pin would dictate this I-beam being our starting position. These skirts are best assembled when you start with the rear and move forward. So once we've established that the tandem will stop right here, this is the first panel that we'll be able to put on at this I-beam station. I've gone ahead and just loose assembled the J-bolt through its stations here. There's how you put on the first panel. You simply catch the leading edge of the I-beam, put it into position, flip up your J-bolt, flip up your other J-bolt, and then use your driver. A universal joint or a flexible joint or an extension will help to draw these. What will happen is this will draw up tight and cinch these right onto the I-beam. Here's how the second panel locks in. You start with your bottom tab and you can pull this open. You start with your first tab, then your next tab, then your last tab, and once you've got it, you lift this up for your next one. What I use sometimes is a hammer to tap these in tight. Then you'll put the J-bolts through here, just like this side, and you'll continue working your way right down the line. Don't over tighten it, so you can actually move and slide and tune the exact angle, so when you're on the outside looking, you can see exactly how you want it, so it has a nice smooth flow. We now have 4 panels loosely assembled on this trailer, and along with the 12 panels that come in each box, a left box and a right box, are these extrusion pieces. There's 3 6-foot ones and 1 5-foot one. The reason for that is that at the back you'll start with the 5-foot extrusion that goes here to lock these all together, and it leaves us a seam on the extrusion right here that is halfway across this panel, so that we never have an extrusion seam where there's a panel seam. After starting in the rear end with 5-foot extrusion, you'll finish using 6-foot extrusions and then trimming it to length when it's complete at the landing gear on the trailer. I'm going to go ahead and put this 5-foot piece on and show you. It does help if you put a little bit of soap or even a light oil lubricant. There's been a molded in T on the bottom of here that locks onto this extrusion and lets it slip on. And it ties the whole thing together. I did not soap this one, so I'm struggling a little bit. You can even use a hammer on the end to tap it into place. That's our trim piece. If you hit these skirts on the bottom going over an obstacle, they're all designed to flex and bend in the middle and return to their position. As you can see, the last 2 panels here, we have started to make the transition inboard to come up and terminate at the landing gear post. So the last panel isn't going to fit. So all you have to do is come down to the back side and establish your distance and cut it, either with a belt knife, a saw, a tin snips, whatever you have. The material cuts pretty easy, but it will never tear. It'll bend and flex, and you can cut it with a blade. So what you'll do is establish the distance you need to hook this tab into these the same as you've been doing building your way forward, and you'll trim it so that you have a smooth edge tight up against the gear here, and then you'll pick a couple of points on the gusset to use the zip ties which we've included. There are 2 of them per side to cinch the leading panel out of the slipstream behind the king post here, and also to secure it to the gussets to the landing gear. So this piece is going to work, that'll be trimmed to fit and locked up into place here. Sometimes they change the I-beam configuration and the spacing starts to get narrow here, and what you'll have to do is pick one that works and use the other J-bolt to tie in potentially longer than what the hook is. But this piece is secured with the zip ties and the lock into the previous panel, so this is more like a filler panel that's customized to fit at the end.